I had a conversation with someone recently, and they said, here's what they said, and I've got some notes with me. They said people aren't paying their bills anymore. And I thought it was dramatic. Like, it was overkill. What are they talking about? People aren't paying their bills anymore? That's a bit dramatic. This is gorgeous scenery here. Beautiful walkway and waterway. But I looked at the numbers. I did some homework on this. And the sad thing is they're right. I've been in the recruiting industry for over 30 years. And I've seen a lot of good and bad things with hiring, with people. But people aren't paying their bills anymore. Now, if you watch my other video on layoffs and unemployment, the true number of unemployed people is closer to 25%. Like the government announced it's about 5%, 4.7%. I'm going to turn around. I don't know where I'm going. I know where this sidewalk goes. But if 25% of the people are unemployed, it makes sense why they're not paying their bills. And again, I've been in the recruiting business forever, so I've seen a lot of things. But let me give you some stats. There's a credit card crisis going on. So credit debt is now over $1.21 trillion. $1.21 trillion. 4.7 million Capital One credit card users are in delinquency. Almost 5 million people are in delinquency for Capital One. It's crazy. And this isn't just a blip. This isn't just a blip on the radar. American Express, Discover Card are also reporting large delinquencies. But the biggest one is Capital One. I looked into why that's happening, and I'm sorry, it's really bright here. I'm trying to stay close to my phone. I forgot my mic. But Capital One has the most delinquencies. Yikes. It's just scary stuff. Now I'm in the shade. I'm supposed to walk, but this is really hard to coordinate all this. 4.7 million. Crazy. So here's an article. Credit card delinquencies are rising even among prime borrowers. People with solid credit scores are in delinquency. Wow. This isn't just people living recklessly. There are many people that are paying for groceries and gas that they can't pay off, that they'll never pay off. Here's a question. Have you ever used a credit card, went to swipe your card, and you think, I'll deal with that later? Yeah, millions of people are dealing with the same situation. Like, millions of people are dealing with that same situation. So, not just credit cards, but auto loans. Doing some homework for this video, I couldn't believe the staggering amount. And here it is, the middle of May, okay? And these numbers are probably going to change, and I'll keep you updated. I'm gonna look at this because it helps educate me. I get more coordination when I walk. It forces me to walk, gives me a reason to be outside and try to lose some weight. And I got to figure out how to coordinate all this so I don't have to stop all the time. So thanks for being here. But auto loans, and I'll bring my mic next time. Auto loans are going bad. There's serious delinquencies on auto rates. So according to the Fed, Q1 2025, auto loans hit a new record high. New record high on auto loans. And I've mentioned this in other videos. First of all, cars are ridiculously expensive, overpriced, putting garbage in that nobody wants so they can charge more. I'll go into that because it's a sore subject. I feel like I got ripped off of my car. And I thought, okay, this is just affecting a certain group of people. What group of people is this affecting? But the truth is, the more I look into this, it affects all demographics. Like auto loans for young and retirees alike are both in delinquency. Repos are rising, especially for subprime borrowers. Speaking of repos, I talked to a person that I know that has a used car lot, and I'm trying to be cautious. This sidewalk is dangerous. But my friend was telling me that he's kind of got a large number of repos that he's purchased on his lot. And then the company that he purchases repos from has a lot of inventory. So repos are going up. I don't know. Car dealers are going to make more money because they're buying things from, I don't know. But the bottom line is repos are going up. Student loans. That's been up and down. So I looked at the stats, the current stats for student loans. It's close to 8%. It's 7 point something percent. And I thought to myself, wow, that's super huge. That's high. Like, it's super high, 8%. You know, they had the debacle with loan forgiveness, all those things, changed it back and forth. We got to do a video on student loans because I started digging into student loans on the 8% and thought that sounded dramatic. And then I looked at the stats. And I want to say 1990 was 21% default rate on student loans. So while 8% is high, sounds high, it's not near the record, and it's not as dramatic as they make it sound. And student loan is a scam. They're scamming people into loans, and then the government owns those loans. I didn't realize the government owns the student. Just shows how naive I am. So you're helping me when I'm doing homework on these, but we got to talk about the student loan crisis and ripoff and scam. I did talk about in my last video, Concordia University is laying off people. Most of the time colleges raise rates and they don't have to worry. The government's going to fund it. Government funds the school, and the government, oh, this is a nice shade here. The government funds the school and the government funds the loan. Like, what a scam. I want to open a school. But, so we'll talk about that in another video. The housing industry. So I'm walking by houses here. And this is a nice neighborhood in Michigan. And I did some homework. Most homes are sitting on the market for a long period of time. And I looked at stats. Home sales are down double digits year to year by the National Association of Realtors. Mortgage rates obviously are on the rise, 7%. They're probably, who knows, they could be growing, but that's slowing down mortgage purchases and mortgage loans. And now that the debts are rising, I think you'll see fewer mortgage loans because people just don't qualify, and lending is getting tighter. So what's happening in the housing industry, which hasn't happened in a while, is inventory is rising. Inventory is really rising. In the neighborhood I'm in, I've done some homework on some homes in this neighborhood that I decided to walk today. And some of these homes have been sitting on the market for 60, 90 days. And then you see them go off the market. And these are homes that this neighborhood here in Michigan typically sells homes within a couple days. For the past couple years, homes have sold within, most of the homes have been sold within a week, 5 days. But the majority of the ones in this neighborhood, there's a lot more bumps here. Majority of the ones in this neighborhood here in Fenton, Michigan, are sold within a couple days. Now, these same homes that have been sold, I'm gonna switch this because it's beautiful background. Let me do this without dropping you. Most of these homes have been sitting on the market for a long time. No movement, they've been lowering the price. Yeah, the price is high, but I've seen some of these come down. I've seen some of these prices come down quite a bit, and they're still not moving. That's getting into a scary time. It's and here's a couple of facts. So pending home sales have dropped to their lowest level in over a decade. A lot of these people who purchased homes in the past couple of years probably overpaid for them, may not be able to afford them, and if we see credit card debt rising, we're going to start seeing a lot more foreclosures happen. Housing market slows. It was propping up a lot of other things, from contractors, furniture, retailers, and home improvement. And we could talk about Home Depot. Home Depot just announced that they see massive shrinking in the home improvement market. That's a whole nother video. But here's the deal. The broader impact is large. If people stop paying their bills, consumer spending drives 70% of the GDP. 70% of the US GDP. With rising delinquencies and less spending, we're going to have a lower GDP. Banks are going to start restricting, they're already doing that. Banks are going to start restricting lending, loans. You'll see fewer people qualify. You'll see the home market slow down significantly. You'll probably see, and if you look at the stats, and I don't want to scare you, I'm not here to scare you, I'm just here to prepare you. But as I look at the stats, everything lines up for another housing crash. And I can speak intimately about the housing crash. I went through one, 2008, 2009. I know how it works. I know the effects, but I also know how to get around that. And here's some encouragement. Like, I've been through all these things. I've made stupid mistakes. I've bought overpriced homes. I've had my income cut totally. I've lost businesses. I've been through all this. I thought it was over. I'm still able to make it. I can still do it. I'm happier now than I ever have been. And I've been through all these things. So it's not the end all. But be smarter than me. Learn from my mistakes. And we're all going through this stuff together. Let's band together. Let's help each other. And I'm sorry, I didn't put my phone on airplane mode, which I normally do. So I'm getting a lot of messages. So if you haven't watched my video on jobs, that's a whole nother one. So the job market, the layoffs are growing. Like 6,000 layoffs with Microsoft. And Microsoft's making money. Not just a little money, billions of dollars. Nissan, 20,000 people. Banks, schools, the whole 9 yards. You know, companies are cutting during profitable times. What does that mean? Probably means that they see things happening, that they're trying to protect their assets and their income and their bottom line. You know, what does this mean for you? Again, I'm not trying to scare anybody. If you're feeling pressure, you're just not alone. We're all in this together. I've been through this. I've lost a lot of stuff. Made a lot of money, lost a lot of money. None of it matters. Really, none of it matters. You know, the question is, have you seen this happen to you? And is it happening to you? What do you see happening? You know, we've all been through these tough times. Sometimes we really look at, I started reading the headlines. And go, holy Toledo, But then I started doing my homework. That's why I want to put these videos together. Not only to show you the real reality of what's going on, to educate myself. I'm going to do walk and talks so I can lose some weight. So the goal is we help each other. I lose a few pounds and continue that momentum. Let's continue the momentum of learning together, supporting each other, and enjoying this short journey of life, because it is short. And use the time we get. If I had smell-o-vision, the smell of these flowers, you can't see the flowers because they all just fell, but it smells great. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.